Most people think their cat tolerates them. The science says something different. Your cat has been quietly memorizing you, your smell, your voice, the rhythm of your day. Storing it in a memory researchers estimate is 200 times stronger than a dog's. She doesn't just recognize you, she has encoded you, and some of what she's filed away will stay with her for the rest of her life. 1. The smell that never leaves them. Think about the last time your cat pressed her face against your hand and held it there. Not a quick rub, a slow, deliberate push. That's called bunting. And it's not just affection, it's filing. Your cat has somewhere between 45 and 80 million more scent receptors than you do. Her nose can detect your specific chemical signature through laundry detergent, through cologne, through wherever you stopped on the way home. You cannot hide from her nose. In 2025, researchers at Tokyo University of Agriculture published a study in PLOS ONE where they gave 30 cats 3 cotton swabs, one with their owner's scent, one with a stranger's, one clean. The cats spent significantly longer sniffing the stranger's swab, not because the stranger was more interesting, because their owner's scent was already stored. The researchers then watched cats rub their faces against the owner's swab, and as if to say, I know this one is mine. When your cat bunts you, she's doing something similar, layering her pheromones over your scent, marking you as part of her world, and reinforcing the memory at the same time. Every press of that face is another deposit into something she'll carry for years. Scent memory lives in the oldest, deepest part of the brain. It doesn't fade the way facts do. Long after she forgets whatever chaos happened last Tuesday, she'll still know exactly what you smell like. She'll know it's you before you say a word. If your cat has ever done that face press thing, that slow blink and push, drop a 1 in the comments. I want to know how many of us are walking around being quietly memorized. 2. Exactly how your voice sounds. Your cat knows what your voice sounds like. Not just a human is talking, your specific voice, the pitch, the rhythm, the exact way you say her name at the end of a long day, versus how you say it when dinner's ready. A 2013 study published in Animal Cognition tested this directly. Researchers played recordings of strangers' voices and owners' voices to cats, while the owner was out of sight. The cats showed clear physical responses, ears rotating, heads orienting, pupils dilating, specifically to their owner's voice. Not the strangers, their persons. Here's the part that always makes people laugh. The cats didn't turn around. They knew exactly who was speaking. They just decided not to acknowledge it, which honestly is its own kind of intimacy. There's a story I keep coming back to. In 2015, a cat named Kunkush fled Iraq with his family as war refugees. They were separated in Greece, lost for months. When they finally connected over Skype, Kunkush heard his family's voices through a phone screen and recognized them immediately. Not their faces, their voices, after months apart. Your voice is one of the things your cat stores most reliably. But there's one specific type of memory we haven't talked about yet. The kind that surprised even researchers who study animal cognition for a living. We'll get there. First, there's something quieter your cat has been memorizing about you every single day. 3. Your exact daily rhythm. Your cat doesn't own a clock, but she knows what time it is. Not from numbers, from you. She's built a detailed internal map of your day, assembled from the sequence of small things you do without thinking, the sound of your alarm, the smell of your coffee, the specific creak of your desk chair when you finally stand up. She doesn't know it's 6 p.m. She knows that when you do that thing you do after the last screen time, it's almost dinner. This is called back-chaining. Cats memorize routines as linked sequences of cues. Each event signals the next, which is why, when the US switches to daylight saving time, some cats will still wake you up at the exact old hour, because they're not responding to the clock, they're responding to the rhythm of you, the light, the sounds, the particular way your breathing changes before you wake up. They recognize the specific sound of your car engine in the parking lot, the cadence of your footsteps on the stairs versus any neighbor's footsteps. Before you put your key in the door, she already knows it's you, and she's already been waiting. Some cats pace right before their owner arrives home, up to half an hour early. Not ESP, just an extraordinarily precise memory for how your day is shaped. You are her entire schedule, and she has memorized every entry. 4. Every time you weren't there. Here's something nobody talks about. Your cat remembers when you weren't there. A 2017 study published in PLOS One by Erickson, Keeling and Reen found that cats actively interact with their owners more following longer separations. The longer the time apart, the more engagement when reunited, which means they're not just responding to your presence, they're responding to the contrast. They noticed you were gone. They track the absence. Think about what that actually means. Every time you come home, your cat isn't just seeing you. She's completing a memory loop that started when you left. The waiting was part of it. The reunion is the end of a sentence she's been holding, and a lot of cat owners feel guilty leaving for a few days, a work trip, a vacation, convinced their cat is sitting alone and slowly forgetting them. She isn't. Research suggests cats can retain significant emotional memories for up to 3 years, with bonds to a primary caregiver potentially lasting much longer. The cats who seem like they're punishing you when you return, the ones who give you the cold shoulder for an hour, they're not forgetting you. They're processing that you came back. Your absence is part of what she remembers about you, and every time you walk through that door you confirm something she's been holding, that you come back, that you always come back. 5. Every gentle thing you've ever done. This is the one I want you to sit with for a second. Research consistently shows that cat memory is sharpest when it's attached to emotion, not to facts, not to events in isolation, to how something made them feel. A cat doesn't store a neutral catalogue of experiences. She stores the emotional temperature of them, every gentle thing you've done, the slow scratch at the right moment, the time you sat on the floor because she seemed off, the nights you let her sleep on you even though your arm went numb. Those are deposits, and they are accumulating into a permanent record of what it feels like to be around you. Neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp described this process as emotional recalibration. The brain can overwrite old fear with new safety, but it requires repetition. Thousands of consistent, gentle interactions before the nervous system stops defaulting to alert. For cats who came from hard places, that number is even higher, which is why, if you've ever adopted a rescue cat and watched her slowly come around, what you witnessed wasn't just personality. You were watching her brain rewrite itself, one kind moment at a time. Not every cat shows this the same way. Some purr, some slow blink, some simply choose to be in the same room as you. But all of them are keeping score, and the score you've built, that's permanent. 6. The single moment she'll never forget. Here's the one that stopped researchers cold, and the one I promised you earlier. In 2017, a team at Kyoto University led by Saho Takagi published a study in the journal Behavioral Processes. They presented 49 cats with multiple food bowls, let them eat from some, then removed them from the room. When the cats were brought back, they returned to the bowls they hadn't eaten from, not the ones they had. They remembered what happened and where from a single experience. This is called episodic-like memory, the ability to encode what and where from one event alone. Prior to this research, it had only been reliably demonstrated in great apes, dogs, and a handful of other species. Cats belong to that list. They don't need something to happen repeatedly to remember it. Once can be enough. Here's what that means for you. The afternoon you accidentally stepped on her tail and she ran under the bed. She encoded that. The day you brought her home and sat very still on the floor so she could approach you on her terms, she encoded that too, both from a single experience. This is the thing that cuts both ways. The moments that scared her are real and lasting, but so is the very first time you made her feel safe. That day is still in there, exactly as it happened. She hasn't let it go. 7. That you were the one who stayed. Your cat doesn't know your name. She doesn't know your address, your birthday, or any of the facts you use to identify yourself to the rest of the world. But she knows something more durable than any of that. She knows that you're the one who stayed. You filled the bowl when you didn't have to. You opened the door when it was raining. You sat quietly on the couch and let her decide when to come closer. You moved slowly when she was new and scared. You showed up day after day until showing up was just the pattern of your life together, until she built her entire sense of safety around the rhythm of you being there. That's not something you can fake, and it's not something she forgets. Cat long-term memory, for experiences tied to emotional significance, can persist for years. Some researchers believe the bond to a primary caregiver lasts even longer than formal studies have been able to measure. What they keep returning to is this: the stronger the emotion attached to a memory, the more permanently it's encoded. You're probably the strongest emotional anchor in your cat's world. The smell of you, the sound of you, the the way you make her feel. All of it. Stored. All of it. Lasting. She's not indifferent. She's not cold. She's just been quietly carrying you this whole time. And honestly, you've been carrying her too.